Hello, how are you today? This is Lemurian Donna Carroll, and I'm here on my weekly live stream on YouTube. And today I am going to channel an archangel, one that people know by name, but possibly don't know exactly what this archangel does, or maybe they don't have a personal relationship with this archangel. So I wanted to channel Archangel Metatron to see if he had any information for people about who he is, what he's doing, any information about the ascension, anything like that. So today is April 19th. I don't know if I said that already, but I'm just going to type in the chat. Welcome. Okay, so I know that these times are stressful and difficult. I understand that we all have different experiences with what's going on. We all have different perspectives and opinions, which is natural. And I want you to know that I love to channel, and I am channeling as a service. And I hope that you resonate with my work, and I hope it brings you joy and some teachable information. So without further ado, I am going to leave my body and bring in the angel and see what he has to say. I want to say hello to Marie Antoinette. Glad that you're here. Okay, so if you would, place your attention in your heart center. If you want to receive the angel's messages, information, or energy more strongly, you can take a piece of selenite like this. Hi, Lupe. Take a piece of selenite like this. Either place it over your heart or hold it in your hand, because that will provide a conduit for the angels to come in, the archangels, your guardian angel, any being from the celestial realm will have an easier time connecting with you if you utilize your selenite. And this stone is number 2 on the hardness scale. It's not a very hard stone, but it is a very ancient stone. So this piece could be millions of years old, but probably hundreds of thousands of years old. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that. If you hold the selenite, you'll get more of an impact from the channeling. So at this time, I would like to call in my highest and best guides. I would like to call in the archangels, calling in, I just raised the volume, calling in Archangel Raphael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. I also invoke Archangel Metatron, who is our guest speaker today. I would like to ask 10,000 warrior protection angels to surround me and anyone listening to this audio today or in the future. I ask the angels to block all negative entities, energies, or thought forms. If anything's released by me or anyone watching this video, angels take it to source and transmute it into light. That could be entities, attachments, thought forms, whatever no longer serves us, angels take it to the light. I request that the Lemurian Mother Goddess oversee this channeling. Make my words clear. Make them accurate, truthful, loving, and helpful. I ask that this channeling serve everyone's highest good today and in the future. And lastly, we invite Archangel Metatron to come in and speak to everybody today. And we want to thank him for being here with us today. Amen. Greetings, this is Archangel Metatron, and it is my pleasure to be with you here today as one in union, aspiring for holy elucidation. Before I begin my message, I ask that you all take a very deep breath in and a deep breath out. I ask you to empty your minds, let go of all thought forms, emotions, or anything else that is pulling you away from present time. Again, take one deep breath in and release it. Very good. We appreciate your attention as I am here with my team and the other archangels. I would like to say that, yes, we in the celestial realms have been working diligently, very, very diligently on Earth's ascension process. There are many things that take place behind the scenes or out of the radar, if you will, of humans and other beings upon your planet or other beings associated with your planet. So we have been working very diligently. We all have our roles. We all have our parts to play. And we work independently or with our teams. And also we work as a unit or codependently at times. I have come down with Archangel Raphael, also Michael, and the other angels to do very specific tasks, because sometimes it is easier for us to work in unison to get something done. So what is my role, or what exactly am I doing in the ascension? Suffice it to say that I work with timelines. I work with the timelines of Earthlings, and I work with the timelines of other beings in this reality and other realities. My work is universal, but I am very, very very closely tied to the timelines, and the timelines are shifting very rapidly. So it is something that I do with great joy, great pleasure, but also there is a certain amount of skill that is involved with working with these timelines. So let me put it very succinctly. The Divine Mother, Creator in feminine form, is leading this ascension. In other words, she is providing the energy to lift people up to the higher realms of consciousness. She is emitting those frequencies. Her son, her firstborn, takes that energy and brings it to the rest of creation, not just in the earthly realm, but all over creation. Her son is with her in heaven, and he is diligently working on providing access, pathways, conduits, bridges to the mother. I work in the realities that receive these energies. I work, for the most part, in this timeline, on the receiving end. So as the mother is emitting the information, her son is transferring it, I receive it in the earth planes and other planes of consciousness as well. And I do receive this energy, and I work with the energy with groups of people, groups of light beings, groups of animals, groups of all living entities. I more or less package the energy. I more or less create the easiest assimilation or consumption of the energy so that people can ascend to higher frames of consciousness as easily as possible. So I work with many, many timelines in many realities, with many different peoples, many different extraterrestrials, many different life forms. As you know, the Earth was in a very dark period for some time. Since the fall of Atlantis, really, it has been in a very difficult time period because the energies coming from Source, the energies coming from the higher dimensions, were not easily assimilated by humans. It was difficult, in a sense, to experience the light. Humans were aware of God, they were aware of angels, they were aware of the Christ, they were aware of the Buddha and other teachers, because these teachers came down from the celestial realms to bring their teachings to humans. They more or less came from that level of consciousness, and they came into a human body, and they connected as best they could with that level of consciousness to teach. However, the channel has mentioned before that an incarnated archangel does not have the exact same perspective as that archangel has out of body. In the body, the experience is somewhat limiting. So people were aware of the light and got the teachings from the light, but they still were in a difficult period because they were quarantined. There was a quarantine on this reality. Humans lived in a matrix in the third dimension, and they lived in very dense matter. And heaven seemed to be a far away place because they were not directly experiencing it within their own environment. So archangels, celestial ones, have come down again and again and again to bring in light and information. Light is information. The other definition of light would be information. It carries the codes of elucidation. So this was a very dark time period for humans after the fall of Atlantis, and the darkness started creeping in during that time. As you know, there were many wars, violence was pervasive, and the ego took control of people's psyches. Many people wanted to make sure that their point of view or their desires were, they wanted to make sure that their desires manifested in their reality. And so they would stomp on other people, even going to the point of killing other people to make sure that their manifestation took precedence. It was a very difficult time for humans to be incarnated. It was a difficult time for light beings to be here in human form, as times sometimes seemed hopeless. It seemed like heaven was a faraway place and that it was something that you would get to after you passed. And of course, in Western theology, you only had one life. Well, these teachings are older and outdated. We hope that you understand by now that humans, for the most part, have had many lives and have been locked into a reincarnational cycle in order to evolve themselves. And many had no choice in the matter. In other words, they had to continually come back to the earth plane to evolve. They could not stay on the other side as their soul was not liberated. Liberation means that the soul is freed from reincarnation. Their souls were not liberated. Therefore, they had to keep coming back. And of course, liberation is a lower point on the scale of evolution. It is not even close to being self-realized or enlightened. I want you to know that, of course, these times have changed and are changing. Now, human beings are aware that they have had many lives for the most part. Some have had one or two, but most people have had many lives on this planet. And they also understand that they are multidimensional beings, that their lifetime here in this reality is one aspect of who they truly are. They have lifetimes as extraterrestrials, animals, and beings spread throughout the multiverse. Humans understand that they are light workers, understand that they are in the ascension process, going from the third to the fifth dimension, and hopefully higher if human consciousness allows. So what I am doing is I am taking the energy that is being brought to the earth plane for ascension, being transmitted by the mother's son, being created by the mother. And as this energy comes to the earth plane, I make it available to people to consume. Sometimes the energy is too broad in a bandwidth. It is too broad, and I have to condense it. Sometimes I take the energy and I divide it up into strings of energy. And sometimes I take the energy and I color code it, or I organize it or prepare it for consumption for a certain soul group. Right now, I am working with the dolphins, the Pleiadian souls who are here as way showers of joy, love, and happiness. And I am working very directly for the whales because their consciousness is very pure. And the whales are the species on the planet who have not forgotten their origins in the Syrian stars. The whales also work with dimension, and they consume great pieces of ascension energy. And as they emote or emit their song, their sound, that energy goes out into the waters and it is consumed by other marine life. In a way, they are doing similar work to what I am doing. And I also work with them very directly so that they can bring in as much celestial energy as possible, and also create the remembrance within themselves to fully connect to their higher selves. These whales and other forms of marine life now have the ability to astral travel to their homes in the stars. In these places, they are recharged, and they are given the love and the peace. They are given the education and the energy to come back to Earth in their waking state to make their lifetimes tolerable. If human beings understood the importance of the elephants, the whales, the dolphins, and other forms of animal life, they would have much more respect for these entities, because they perform invaluable functions upon this planet. The songs of the whales keep the energy flowing and going within the waterways, within the oceans, so that it, in a sense, it keeps this reality together, intact. And the elephants do this on the African continent. Their sound, their trumpet, the noise that they make, the communication, keeps the energy going. It is received by other life forms, and it keeps the reality intact on land. So I work very directly with animals and just not people. When I take energy that is transmitted from the sun and I bring it to a group of people, let's say there are a group of Atlanteans who are now converging. It is a soul group that is meant to live and work together. I get the instruction. I know what to do. I hear it telepathically, and I receive it in my heart and my mind. And I take the energy that is being directed my way, and I bring in those timelines. So the energy comes to me very, very pure. It is high celestial energy. And I am to bring it to this Atlantean soul group so that they can further develop their skills, their remembrance, further develop their evolutionary process. So what happens is I, of course, research this group. Let's say it's a group of scientists who are working with crystalline energy and doing wonderful things in Atlantean times to help heal the people and to bring lucidity to the people's minds. I take the energy, I research who was in the soul group, what part they played in that Atlantean lifetime. Perhaps I go back further to their Syrian beginnings and research the multidimensional aspects of the souls in this group. And then I create a package of the energy to implant into the hearts of the people. Typically, in a group like this, a soul group, there will be a catalyst person, there will be a leader or a group magnet, a person who magnetizes the others to them. So let's say this group of scientists, the person who is the catalyst or acting, who has contracted to be the catalyst in the regrouping of this soul group, I would create an implant to put into that person's heart. It is full of energy, meaning it talks about the vibration, if you will, the vibration, the specific beat, the specific rhythm, the specific wave of energy that this individual experienced as a scientist in Atlantis, and a modified version of that on Sirius. And I would put an implant into this individual's heart, and as he becomes implanted with remembrance, that energy goes out from his heart and it acts as a catalyst or a draw to bring his counterparts, his compatriots, to him. So in these days, his compatriots might live all over the world. There might be a man in Argentina, there might be a woman in California, there might be a man in France, one in Japan, and they are his core soul group. And so somehow, because the implant is within the heart, the signal goes out and these people are pulled towards him. And They connect either through a symposium, a conference, perhaps on the internet, but they connect. And they connect together because, as you know, there is power in the whole. There is an old saying, the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. What that means is when these 5 scientists get together energetically, it is very, very powerful. It is exponentially powerful. Their energy, as it transmits out to the world, is much greater than if they were transmitting their ideas or research individually. So these individuals have a soul contract. They have contracted with me as well. And they get together, let's say on the internet, because they have certain research in common, or perhaps they have certain interests in common. And they develop friendships and working relationships. And then once the energy has started and they're connected, then for the most part, I leave. That is my job. So my job is to take the energy from source, transmit it to earth, and to package it to make it available to those individuals who want and need it so that they can connect in the best ways possible to further their evolution. And again, I do this with animals as well. I also have other functions that I am involved with. And these functions have to do with the heart rate of the planet itself and the ascension of the planet itself in relationship to the star, the sun. In other words, what is the energetic history? What is the energetic relationship between the earth and the moon and the sun? And can this be optimized to make the ascension process easier? I work with others in this sphere to bring energies to the planets in your solar system that will help them to coalesce, to bring higher states of consciousness to themselves so that they can further their own evolution. And yes, there are relationships between galaxies, one galaxy to the other, and even universes, one universe to the other. I also work with opening portals to other realities. If it is time for a being from another universe, another galaxy, if it would be beneficial and it is safe for this individual or group of individuals to make contact with the earth, then I work with opening the portals, creating the pathways, and letting the energy flow through so that these connections can be made. So as you can imagine, I am very busy right now because many more connections happen each time the earth goes up in vibration. And there are octaves of vibration. And I know when the time is appropriate to open up these portals, because there will be a sound coming into my presence or my ears. And the sound here will match the sound in the galaxy that wants to connect. And an alignment takes place. And when those sounds click into place properly, then I open up the corridor of time and space. There are other ETs that work in this field, and I work with them very directly, and we do this work together. So you could say that I am very, very involved in creating portals of time and space and creating realities of time and space that are the highest good for the individuals receiving my energy. If we did not do this work, my team, myself, and the ETs involved in it, there would be chaos upon your earth. You could live in a city, for instance, and go on a trip. And on that trip, you would be 100 years in the future in a place halfway around the world. And then you would not be able to find your way back. Although your reality seems, in a sense, linear, your reality seems very orderly. It is orderly because the powers that be keep order in place. If the angels were not working with Earth and her inhabitants, if the ETs were also not working with Earth and her inhabitants, it could be quite chaotic here. And people could get quite lost because essentially you live in a hologram and essentially it is an illusion. So we work to keep things in order, working, connected. We know that it is difficult for some earthlings right now because of the ascension process. Things in your reality are changing very quickly, but know that this is by design. Things are changing very quickly because humans want to ascend. They want to be in the light. And angels want humans to be in the light, as well as the mother and the son. And so we are pushing the envelope here. We are creating a reality, or helping to create a reality, that can move as quickly as possible to higher states of consciousness with the least amount of fallout as possible. There are always casualties in any type of grand experiment. There will be people that will not be able to deal with the energy, that do not have the self-will or the determination to keep going, or those that just are confused or cannot, that are wanting to go back to the past. You understand that change is inevitable and there is no going back to the past. If any of these situations apply to you, maybe you feel overwhelmed sometimes, maybe you're anxious, we ask that you ask us for support. We are here to support you. Ask your angels, your guardian angel, your healing angels. Ask the celestial ones for support. They are all around you. Although you cannot see us, sometimes you cannot hear us, please know that we see and hear you, and we respond to all inquiries, and we respond to all cries for help. We respond. I want you to know that the best thing to do in these times is to stay centered, stay grounded, and as the channel says, keep your eye on the prize. The prize is to ascend, to reach the new earth, and to live in a beautiful, beautiful, green, loving earth, and to connect with all life within your heart, to feel the love, to feel the excitement, the joy, and the fun of being alive on this planet. You are going through one of the greatest rides that a human being can experience. And the angels are loving the fact that you're ascending, and they are here to help you. Understand that there are angels incarnated in human bodies. including archangels. And sometimes when you call on us, we will even respond in a material sense, if that makes sense to you. So know that you are on this journey. It is an exciting one. It is a hopeful one. And it is now going full speed ahead. In fact, you have been on the play button for quite some time, and now you are going to be on the fast forward button. If it gets overwhelming for you, again, please call on your guides. We are always here, and we will assist you in all times and in all ways. This is Archangel Metatron. I want to thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We love you. We respect you. And we are very happy to be on this ascension ride with you. Namaste. And the channel comes back. Thank you. Thank you, Archangel. Yes, thank you, Archangel Metatron. Hi. Hi. Andrea, Eustio. Hello, hello. Thank you. I'm a little coming back into my body. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the channeling by Archangel Metatron. And I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all that you're doing on this ascension journey on the planet in these times. So I want to make a couple announcements. I am producing a free webinar on Cinco de Mayo. And the webinar is called Bring in Joy, Healing, and Wisdom by Connecting to Your Spirit Guides. And I'm going to show you 3 unique ways to connect to your spirit guides that will really help you in the ascension process. It's not going to be too long. I'm writing it now. But if you're interested in listening to that or participating, like I said, it's going to be a live webinar on May 5th. Go ahead and contact me. I'm also teaching a channeling class called Learn to Channel the Lemurian Way. This class is geared towards Lemurians and other starseeds, people who know that they're light workers. If you would like to verbally channel your guides, to have your guides come through your body and you verbally speak their words, this is the class for you. It's going to start June 3rd and go on to June 26th. And you will learn my proprietary system called the EAT process, the EAT process, which teaches you how to channel safely, accurately, and quickly. You'll be channeling before the class is over, proficiently. And I've taught a few channeling classes, and everyone I've ever taught could channel. So know that it is an inherent human ability. If you're interested in either of those things, go ahead and email me at lemuriandonnacarol@gmail.com. That's lemuriandonnacarol@gmail.com. Or you can contact me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Lemurian Donna Carol. And I'm redoing my website, so my website's not available right now. It's been down for a little bit. Also wanted to thank you for listening. I appreciate donations if any of this information helps you. And I want to wish you the best day and the best week possible. And just know that you have angelic support. It's all around us. And if anyone criticizes you, if anyone upsets you, you can turn to the angels for solace. They will always help you. They're amazing and they love you. And that's what I wanted to say. And I wish you all a great day. Thank you.